Have you ever wanted to play guitar but didn't know where to start? Welcome to the world of guitar tabs, the simple and intuitive language of music that can turn your guitar strumming dreams into reality. Even if you've never held a guitar before, don't fret. With a little guidance, you'll be strumming along to your favorite tunes in no time. Stick with us, and we promise you'll find it's not as hard as it looks. Today, you will learn how to read guitar tabs in simple, easy steps. First things first, let's understand what guitar tabs are. Guitar tabs, short for tablature, serve as a form of musical notation that instructs players where to place their fingers on the instrument, rather than indicating which pitches to play. They are a simplified system, designed to be easy to read and understand, particularly for those who may not have a background in music theory or reading traditional sheet music. Guitar tabs consist of 6 horizontal lines, representing the 6 strings of a guitar. The numbers placed on these lines correspond to the frets on the guitar neck. So if you see the number 2 on the top line, that means you should press the 2nd fret on the highest string. Understanding guitar tabs is a crucial step in learning to play the guitar, particularly for beginners. Now that you know what guitar tabs are, let's move on to how to read them. So, how does one read a guitar tab? Well, let's break it down, shall we? A guitar tab, or tablature, is a form of musical notation that illustrates where to place your fingers on the fretboard, rather than indicating any specific pitches. It's like a map of your guitar's fretboard, simplified and easy to understand. Imagine your guitar lying flat in your lap, the headstock to your left and the body to your right. Now, picture a set of 6 horizontal lines. These lines represent the 6 strings of your guitar. The top line corresponds to the thinnest string, that's your high E string, and the bottom line represents the thickest string, your low E string. Now, on these lines, you'll see numbers. These aren't just any numbers, they indicate the frets where you should place your fingers. For instance, a number 3 on the top line tells you to press down the 3rd fret on the high E string. But what if there are multiple numbers stacked vertically? Don't fret. This simply means you play those notes at the same time, creating what we call a chord. And remember, tablature reads from left to right. So you'll start from the leftmost note and work your way to the right, much like reading a book. Do you see any zeros? Those represent open strings. That means you'll play the string without pressing down any frets. And what about when the numbers run in a sequence, like 1, 2, 3? That's a melody line where you play the notes one after the other. So, there you have it. The 6 lines are your strings, the numbers are your frets, and the way they're arranged tells you whether you're playing single notes, chords, or a combination of both. Don't worry if it seems a bit overwhelming at first. Like learning any new language, it takes practice. But with time and patience, you'll be reading tabs as easily as your favorite novel. With this knowledge, you're already on your way to playing your first song. But how do you know when to strike the strings? That's a great question, and leads us to the 4th chapter of our journey understanding rhythm in tabs. You see, one of the limitations of guitar tabs is that they don't usually indicate rhythm or timing. They tell you where to put your fingers and which strings to play, but not when to play them. So how do we tackle this? Well, the first step is to listen to the song. I mean, really listen. Get a feel for the beat, the tempo, the rhythm. This will give you a sense of the song's pulse, the heartbeat if you will. It's the constant tick-tock that underpins the melody and holds the music together. Now, as you listen, try tapping your foot or clapping your hands along to the beat. This will help internalize the rhythm. You'll start to notice patterns, repetitions, and variations. These patterns are the key to unlocking rhythm in tabs. Once you've got a handle on the rhythm, go back to the tab. As you read through it, try to hear the song in your head. Try to match the notes on the tab to the beat you've been tapping. This is where the magic happens. It's like putting together a jigsaw puzzle. The tab provides the pieces, the song provides the picture, and your job is to fit them together. It may be challenging at first, but with patience and practice, you'll start to see the music come alive. Now, it's important to remember that rhythm isn't set in stone. It's fluid, dynamic. It can speed up, slow down, pause, and play. This flexibility is what gives music its expressive power. So don't be afraid to experiment with rhythm. Play around with it, make it your own. And finally, don't be discouraged if you don't get it right away. Rhythm is tricky, and it takes time to master. But with persistence and practice, you'll get there. Remember, practice makes perfect when it comes to mastering rhythm. Tabs also have special symbols that represent different techniques. Now, this is where things get interesting. As you delve deeper into guitar playing, you'll encounter a variety of symbols in your tabs. These aren't just random doodles. They represent specific guitar techniques that can add depth, richness, and emotion to your music. Let's start with the slide. This is represented by a / for a slide up, or a / for a slide down. When you see these symbols, it means you need to slide your finger up or down the fretboard from one note to another, without lifting your finger. Next up, we have the bend. This is denoted by a B or a curved arrow. As the name suggests, when you see this symbol, you're required to bend the string to alter the pitch of the note. It's a technique that can bring a whole lot of soul to your music. Then, there's the hammer-on and pull-off. These are represented by an H for hammer-on and a P for pull-off. The hammer-on technique involves striking a string with your finger to play a note, without the need to pick the string again. It's like giving the string a quick tap. On the other hand, a pull-off is the opposite of a hammer-on. It involves plucking a note and then pulling your finger off the string to play a lower note on the same string, without picking it again. These techniques are often used together to create a smooth, legato sound. Next, there's the vibrato, symbolized by a squiggly line, tilde. This technique involves rapidly bending and releasing a string back and forth to create a vibrating sound effect. It's a great way to add some emotion to your notes. Lastly, we come to the mute, represented by an X. This symbol means you need to mute the string, either by lightly touching it with your hand or using your palm to stop it from vibrating. This technique can add rhythm and percussive elements to your music. But remember, these are just a few of the many symbols you'll encounter. Guitar tabs can include other symbols like the trill, represented by a TR, or the harmonic, symbolized by a. Each symbol has its own unique sound and effect, and understanding them can greatly enhance your guitar playing skills. Knowing these symbols and techniques is like learning a new language. It might be a bit challenging at first, but with practice, you'll be able to understand and use them with ease. So, don't get overwhelmed. Take your time, practice, and let your fingers do the talking. These symbols add flavor to your music, making it more expressive and dynamic. So go ahead, spice up your music and let your guitar sing in its own unique language. Now grab your guitar, it's time to put theory into practice. We've taken a deep dive into the world of guitar tabs, breaking them down, understanding their rhythms, and learning about the common symbols. But as with any skill, the real learning begins when we start doing. So here we are, at the most exciting part of our journey, practice time. Let's start by reading a simple song using guitar tabs. If you're just beginning, don't worry about getting it perfect right away. The key is to practice and have fun. So let's dive in. Imagine the tab in front of you. You see 6 horizontal lines, each one representing a string on your guitar. The top line corresponds to the thinnest string, and the bottom line corresponds to the thickest. Each number on these lines tells you where to place your fingers on the fretboard. Now let's play a simple melody. Picture this tab, 035, 0365, 03530. This is a classic tune that you might recognize. It's Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple. The numbers indicate the frets where you're going to press your fingers. The dashes are there to show you the rhythm and timing. Start with the open string, which is represented by the 0. Then move to the 3rd fret and then to the 5th. Take your time, there's no rush. Remember, it's not a race, it's a journey. As you're playing, try to listen to the melody. Does it sound familiar? Can you hear smoke on the water starting to form? If not, don't worry, just keep practicing, and soon enough, you'll start to recognize it. The beauty of guitar tabs is that they allow you to learn songs at your own pace. You can start slow, get comfortable with the finger placements, and then gradually increase your speed as you get more confident. And here's a little tip for you. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. They're part of the learning process. Every great guitarist you admire has made countless mistakes along their journey. So embrace your errors, learn from them, and keep moving forward. Let's play through the tab one more time together. Remember, it's 035, 0365, 03530. You're doing great. As you continue your practice, try exploring other simple songs as well. The more you play, the more familiar you'll become with the tab system and the easier it'll be for you to pick up new songs. And there you have it. You've just read and played a simple song using guitar tabs. It might seem challenging at first, but with practice, patience, and perseverance, you'll be strumming your favorite tunes in no time. See, you've just played your first song using guitar tabs. You've made it to the end. Well done. So what have we covered? We've walked through the world of guitar tabs. We've broken down the tablature, diving into each line representing a string on your guitar, and each number showing you where to place your fingers. We've tackled rhythm, learning how to interpret the timing and beat within the tab. We also explored some common symbols you'll encounter in tablature, from bends and slides to hammer-ons and pull-offs. And most importantly, we've practiced. Remember, practice is the key to mastery. Yes, it might seem challenging at first, but with consistent effort, you'll soon be reading tabs like a pro and playing the music that moves you. So what's next? The world of music is at your fingertips. Thousands of songs from classical to rock, from blues to pop, are waiting for you. All available in guitar tabs. Don't limit yourself to what we've covered here. Keep exploring, keep practicing, and keep playing. Remember, every journey starts with a single step. You've taken that step today. Be proud of yourself. You're on the way to making beautiful music. And always remember, every guitar hero started somewhere. Keep practicing, and soon you'll be playing your favorite songs with ease.